Welcome to The Open Mic, where bold stories spark big conversations.
Great to be here.
Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into a really recent media firestorm. It's one that perfectly illustrates, I think, the intricate complexities of modern advertising, public perception, and even has some echoes from advertising history.
Indeed. Yeah, we've taken a pretty comprehensive look at this recent controversy surrounding the Sydney Sweeney Has Great Genes campaign by American Eagle.
Right.
And our sources include, a detailed People.com article, plus we've looked at various other critical responses and some industry takes as well.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're talking about American Eagle's fall campaign. It was titled, Sydney Sweeney Has Great Genes, and it launched Wednesday, July 23rd. And this features the actress Sydney Sweeney, she's 27, known for shows like Euphoria. And she was modeling their new denim styles.
And visually, the campaign itself showed her in pretty classic fall looks. Stuff her stylist Molly Dixon put together like a modern take on the Canadian tuxedo. Bold blue jeans, matching jacket. Then there were these super baggy light wash jeans with just a white t-shirt.
Okay.
And another similar distressed pair with a white tank top. So aesthetically, it looked like, a pretty standard celebrity endorsement.
And Sweeney herself, she sounded really enthusiastic about it publicly. She told people she was freaking out, so excited to join the brand. Even said they were the comfiest jeans I've ever worn. But, and here's the turn, what quickly became the absolute center of this social media firestorm, what got everyone talking, it wasn't the clothes.
No, not at all. It wasn't the cut, the wash, the comfort, none of that.
So what was it?
It was the script, specifically the script in one of the campaign videos. That was the flashpoint.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting then. There was this specific video, and it seems like it might have been pulled from some of AE's social channels.
Yeah. Reports suggest it was removed from places like Instagram, maybe TikTok, but apparently it's still up, or was still up, on their Facebook page.
Huh. Okay, so what happened in that video?
Well, in this video, you see Sweeney. She's like lying down, zipping up her jeans, casual vibe.
Right.
And then she delivers this line, and this is the key part, the direct quote. Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
Okay.
Then the camera focuses on her face, and she says, "My genes are blue." And then you hear a narrator's voiceover that concludes, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes."
And boom, that's where it exploded, that play on words. Using genes, Jeans, as a pun for jeans, Genes.
Exactly. That specific wordplay led some critics, pretty much immediately, to claim the campaign was hinting at, or even referencing, eugenics.
Okay, whoa, that's a heavy term. We should probably clarify what that means.
Definitely. It's critical context. So according to the NIH, the National Institute of Health, eugenics is, and I'm quoting broadly here, the use of selective breeding to improve the human race.
Right. And it has this incredibly dark history associated with really awful things like forced sterilization, discrimination.
Well, absolutely. It's tied to controlling populations based on ideas of genetic superiority, which is, deeply problematic. So making that connection, however the brand intended it or didn't intend it, it instantly sparked this significant and for many people really uncomfortable discussion. It just shows how maybe what they thought was a clever pun
can land completely differently.
Totally. It taps into this weighty, problematic historical context almost instantly in the public consciousness.
And this wasn't just like random comments online either, right?
Yeah.
There were some prominent voices weighing in.
For sure. One really notable voice was Santino Dasgupta. She's an author, a physician, a scholar, teaches narrative medicine at Columbia.
Okay.
She actually went on TikTok and did this really nuanced breakdown of the controversy. That video got huge, like close to 4 million views.
Wow.
And what's really interesting is she said she plans to use this exact ad in her classroom this semester as a teaching moment.
For what purpose?
To spark discussion with her students about race, about historical context, the current political climate, and how all of that connects to media and advertising. So it really elevated it beyond just, a viral moment. It became a case study.
That's fascinating. So the main critique was this eugenics connection via the wordplay. Were there other criticisms too?
Oh, yeah. Beyond that specific point, the campaign also got flacked for kind of its overall portrayal of Sweeney.
How so?
Well, some critics argue the whole campaign catered to what's often called the male gaze.
Okay, explain that a bit.
It ties into this wider discussion about how women are often depicted in advertising. Sometimes, framed more as objects for visual pleasure rather than as, autonomous people. It can reinforce certain beauty standards.
Gotcha. And was that reflected in, say, mainstream media reviews?
It was. Rachel Tashjian, who's the fashion critic for The Washington Post, she called the tagline simply bizarre.
Simply bizarre.
And she asked some really sharp questions about it. Like, are they trying to say that what matters is not what you look like, but what you put on your body? Or, she asked, or that you were assigned a denim style at birth and you must never waver from it.
Pushing on the meaning there.
Exactly. And she also asked, is Sweeney the every girl or the only girl? Which kind of gets at that point about whether she's relatable or just this unattainable ideal. It feeds into those male gaze critiques.
Interesting how these things connect. And you mentioned historical echoes earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this kind of controversy around a celebrity denim ad, it's not entirely new. This whole situation immediately drew comparisons to another really famous and controversial moment in advertising. The Brooke Shields Calvin Klein ads from 1980.
Oh, right. The nothing comes between me and my Calvin's ads.
Exactly that one. The tagline itself was super provocative for its time, and a huge part of that controversy, much like the discussion around Sweeney sometimes touches on objectification, was Shields' age. She was only 15.
Only 15? Wow. I didn't realize she was that young.
Yeah. So both campaigns, decades apart, sparked these intense debates about, the sexualization of young women in ads, the use of suggestive language. It shows how certain sensitive themes just keep resurfacing.
That's a really interesting parallel. So, okay, American Eagle is facing this backlash. These historical comparisons are being made. How did the brand respond officially?
Well, pretty quickly, actually. On August 1st, so just a few days after the launch and after things really heated up online, they put out a statement on Instagram. It was in one of those text graphic things, It read, Sydney Sweeney has great genes, is and always was about the genes. Her genes. Her story. Pretty direct.
Trying to reclaim the narrative.
Totally. We'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their AE jeans with confidence, their way. Great jeans look good on everyone.
So basically, you misunderstood. It was just about the pants.
That's the gist. A classic PR move, really. Trying to clarify the intent, steer the conversation back to the product, focus on confidence, individuality, just divorce it from the controversy.
And what about Sydney Sweeney herself? Did she say anything more after her initial excitement?
Nope. Complete silence on the controversy from her end. People magazine apparently reached out for further comment after the backlash started, but didn't get a response.
Which is maybe not surprising. Often the talent stays out of it once the fire starts.
Exactly. Let the brand handle the official messaging, standard procedure, often.
Okay, so they issue the statement, Sweeney is quiet. But here's the part that I find really fascinating, maybe even kind of nuts. The outcome.
Yes. The bottom line, so to speak.
Despite all this controversy, the negative headlines, the think pieces, the social media outrage, American Eagle's stock price actually went up.
Yeah. According to Vanity Fair, it jumped 10% in just a few days.
10%. Do we know what that translates to in value?
The report said it added more than $200 million to the group's value.
That's staggering. So, while everyone's debating the ethics and the messaging, the business side was, booming.
Pretty much. It's counterintuitive, isn't it?
It really is. How does that even happen? Why would controversy lead to a stock bump?
Well, there are a few ways to look at it. One is the old adage, any publicity is good publicity. Just the sheer volume of conversation, even if it's negative.
Puts the brand name out there.
Exactly. Massive brand awareness spike. People who maybe hadn't thought about American Eagle in years were suddenly seeing the name everywhere.
Okay, that makes some sense.
Another angle is that controversy itself can generate buzz. It draws curiosity. Maybe some people check out the brand just to see what all the fuss is about.
Maybe some consumers even push back against the criticism, like they see the outrage is overblown and decide to support the brand.
That's definitely possible, too. You might get a segment of consumers who feel alienated by what they perceive as cancel culture or oversensitivity, and they rally to the brand almost because it's being criticized. It's this weird paradox.
So public outrage doesn't always hurt the bottom line. Sometimes it might even help.
In certain contexts, it seems so. In today's attention economy, just being visible, regardless of the sentiment attached to that visibility, can translate into market value. It's a complex and maybe slightly uncomfortable reality of modern advertising.
Oh, wow. Okay, so if we try to tie this all together, connected to the bigger picture, This campaign feels like a really potent case study, doesn't it?
Absolutely. A powerful case study in modern media, advertising, communication, all of it. It just throws into sharp relief the huge gap that can exist between what a brand intends to say, how the public actually interprets that message, often through layers of cultural context and personal experience, and then ultimately how the market responds financially, which can seem totally disconnected from the public discourse.
It really shows the speed, too, right? How quickly an interpretation can spread online.
Incredible speed. And how historical context, like the eugenics discussion or the Brooke Shields comparison, can just be instantly pulled in to frame a modern message.
So for brands, it's got to be a reminder that language is just incredibly high stakes. Every word, every image.
Every subtle implication. It can all be dissected, amplified, reinterpreted in ways they probably never imagined. It really underlines the need for, maybe more rigorous sensitivity checks, understanding cultural nuances, but also acknowledging that some things are just unpredictable. Viral moments happen.
So thinking about you, our listener, this deep dive really highlights how fast a phrase can get twisted, how social media just blasts both praise and criticism everywhere, instantly, and how history keeps echoing in these new controversies, shaping how we see things in ways that aren't always obvious. It makes you wonder, what stands out to you about this whole American Eagle situation? What do you think it says about how brands are trying to connect with us today? We really hope this deep dive gave you some new insights, maybe some different angles to consider about just how powerful language and perception are in our digital world.
Yeah, understanding these, complex interactions between culture, business, communication, it's pretty key, I think, to just navigating the sheer amount of information we see every day. Helps us all be maybe a bit more discerning.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Or if you have inspiring stories you think we should explore, reach out to us at theopenmicpodcasts@gmail.com.